Patriots of era, Catholics and Protestants, Loyalists and Nationalists, 32 counties united north and south, now to save Ireland. The great people of Coolock deserve answers now. After last Thursday and Friday's shocking developments in the High Court, there are serious questions now that must be answered. And one man needs to step forward and make a statement with the truth. Alan Croghan. Alan Croghan was one of the 3 plaintiffs who bravely took a case to the High Court against Paul Collins and co. regarding the old Crowned Paints factory site. Just 2 weeks before the hearing, he filed a grounding affidavit stating he no longer wished to pursue the proceedings after the High Court if they ended up in the international courts. This sudden move has thrown the whole case into chaos, and the people of Coolock are left in the dark. So I ask Alan Croghan directly the questions, and to answer these in his statement. 1. Why did you submit that affidavit? There was no legal or logical need for it. If the judge had ruled against the plaintiffs on the day, you could have withdrawn then. So why preemptively sabotage the case? 2. Were you pressured into making that affidavit? And if so, by whom? 3. Were you aware that filing it could destroy the entire case? And 4. Why go to all the trouble to submit it just 2 weeks before the hearing? It makes no sense unless there's more to this. Why did the judge allow one affidavit to derail the entire hearing when it had no bearing on the actual legal argument? Did anyone in that courtroom stand up and ask the judge, show us the law that supports your ruling, judge? The silence now is deafening. Where are the so-called Nationalist Party leaders now? Malachy Stinson, a solicitor and elected councillor, why are you silent? Why aren't you helping your own people in Coolock? Gavin Pepper, Patrick Quinlan, you're elected to represent the people. Why are ye all staying quiet? And then we have Paul Fitzsimons, who now tells me to stay out of Coolock. Really, Paul? The same man who campaigned for Muslims' votes and now wants illegal migrants and Muslims out of the country? You have the cheek to defame me publicly on your podcast. Along with Martin Murphy, you too defame me saying I have skeletons in my closet. What skeletons, Martin? Name them. Call out the skeletons that I so-called have in my closet, or stop spreading lies. Ye will not get away with defaming me, boys. Let me clearly say this. The so-called nationalist parties in this country, folks, are an absolute disgrace. If ye don't unite now, and if ye can't even sit around a table and agree to take this government down, you don't deserve to lead anyone. Grow a pair of balls, men, and form a government. Then come and talk to me about taking a justice portfolio. And until then, don't come near me asking me for your support. Because right now, there is no justice in Ireland. I'm done waiting. I'm going ahead now with my plans for 100,000 plus to protest outside the Dáil. I'm moving on with my next phase of legal action over the election rigging, because someone has to do it. But all this, folks, takes money, and I can't do it alone. That's why I set up the Keen Save Ireland GoFundMe page last February. Every single cent is accounted for. To those who claim I have millions in the bank, show me where the millions are, folks. Because if I had millions, I wouldn't be asking ye. But I'm fighting for you, for Coolock, and for Ireland. If you want the truth, if you want justice, if you really care about change, I need your help. I'm doing Trojan work behind the scenes. Please support the Keen Save Ireland GoFundMe. Without the people's financial backing and their support, this cannot happen. But I won't stop. But I can't do it without you. The GAA. What has happened to the GAA? What has happened to Croke Park? Our national stadium, the heart of Irish sport and identity. People across the country are asking me now, why are there so few Irish stewards around Croker anymore? Why are there almost all Indians stewarding Croke Park? How much are they being paid? Are they even being Garda vetted? Are they getting their tea and sandwiches or a bun and a wage, while Paddy is told to stay at home? What's happened to the young Irish lads and the retired Gardaí who used to take pride in stewarding the big days? Are they no longer welcome in their own stadium? It's just not the stewarding that's changed. The whole soul of the GAA is slipping away. Across Kerry, I'm hearing the same thing. We can't afford, Michelle, to go to the All-Ireland this year. The tickets, the grub, the travel, it's all too much. And now the GAA expect families to fork out 100 plus for a day out. And that used to be about community and pride. Instead, this year, on All-Ireland weekend, we'll see big screens going up in towns and villages of Kerry. Why? Because people can't afford to go to Croke Park, the home of the Irish people. And don't even start me about the price of a cup of tea, or a can of beer, or a burger at the stadium. The so-called Grab All Association has well and truly priced out the ordinary Irish grassroots fan. They've opened the doors up to every creed and culture, while slowly locking out their own. This used to be our space. This used to be the people's game. But now it's turning into a corporate globalised identity free circus, and the GAA leadership should hang their heads in shame. How dare they forget the farmers, the volunteers, the grassroots players, the people that died on Bloody Sundays, the families who gave a lifetime of loyalty to the GAA. We built this game, we kept it alive, and now we're being shoved out. There's still time to change the course, folks. Bring back the Irish people into the centre of their own stadium. Respect the Gardaí and the local volunteers. Make games affordable. Bring back pride and bring back common sense. The GAA was once the heartbeat of Ireland. Now it's losing its soul. And unless the people stand up and say enough, they'll sell us out all completely. A personal appeal to Captain Kieran Kelly. My heart and deepest sympathies go out to Captain Kieran Kelly on the unimaginable loss of his beloved son. A loss he claims was caused by members of An Garda Síochána in Dungarvan, County Waterford. As a single mother of 2 children, I cannot even begin to fathom out the pain and the torment that this father carries in his heart. The love for a child never dies, and if ever anyone harmed my children, I would go to the ends of the earth to uncover the truth and fight for justice. No family should be left searching in the dark. No death should go unexplained. If there has been wrongdoing by a Garda, by an official, by anyone in the state, they must be held to account. Even victims deserve justice. Even grieving parents deserve answers. But Captain Kieran Kelly, I say this with respect and sincerity, you are going about it all the wrong way. Yes, we need to raise our voices on social media and expose corruption. Yes, public awareness matters. But keyboard warriors won't bring your son back. What we need now is strategy, discipline and courage through the proper channels, not defamation and distractions. I implore you, Captain Kieran Kelly, put your allegations in writing. Send them formally to the Minister for Justice, Jim O'Callaghan. Send them to the Garda Commissioner, Drew Harris, because the buck stops with them. Tell them exactly what justice you seek. Force their hand. Make them respond. If others too have suffered rape, abuse or loss of a loved one at the hands of the members of any of the Gardaí, or any person for that matter in the state, they must do the same. File formal complaints, demand action, put it on record. That's how we shake a corrupt system from within. But Captain Kieran Kelly, what you're doing now is hurting innocent people. You recently accused a well-known West Cork fisherman, Neely Manahan, of being a drug smuggler. I've looked into this claim, and I can tell you from everything I found, this man is not a drug smuggler. He's a fisherman, a father, a husband, a provider. Imagine how his family must feel hearing such dangerous lies being spread about him online. You also claimed that Neely had something got to do with the death of Fungi, the beloved Dingle dolphin, who everyone in Kerry knows died of old age at the age of 40 years of age. That post was cruel, false and defamatory. And you didn't stop there. You've dragged names through the mud without evidence, and all while claiming to fight for justice. But justice does not come from spreading lies. It comes from exposing the truth and standing in it, no matter how hard it is. In September 2023, Captain Kieran Kelly took to the stage as a guest speaker at the Irish Freedoms Party Ardèche. presented as an environmental advocate championing the removal of plastics from our oceans. To many in attendance, he appeared to be a credible, passionate voice for marine conservation. But behind the podium stood a man who just 2 years earlier had been subject to a damning US federal court ruling in 2021. RC Project APS successfully sued Kelly and his organisation, Restoring Integrity to the Oceans, including for defamation and tortious interference. The court awarded $577,741 in damages, plus costs, after finding that Captain Kieran Kelly had spread false, harmful claims about RC's ocean cleaning efforts, claims that were proven baseless and damaging to a global environmental mission. And yet, despite the public record, the Irish Freedom Party gave him a platform. Has the Irish Freedom Party ever addressed this? Have they ever acknowledged that their guest speaker was found legally liable for smearing a legitimate environmental group? Have they taken steps to investigate how someone with such a serious judgment against him was invited to represent a cause as vital as ocean conservation? To date, there seems to be no public statement, no clarification. Why not? The legal case was on the public record since 2021. The judgment is clear. The damages are real. The silence is loud. If the party believes in truth, integrity and due diligence, not just in politics, but in the people that they platform, they owe the public an explanation. And at the very least, they owe an apology. This is not just about one man. It's about what we stand for and who we stand behind. I recently had the honour of meeting Patrick Murphy, CEO of the Irish South and West Fish Producers Organisation in Castleisland, while campaigning for the local elections and him for the European elections. He is a man of integrity and deep commitment to Irish fishermen, and I will defend him when he is wrongly attacked, just like I will defend any honest person who is being named is being smeared. Let me be very clear, folks. I want this cobbled-together Irish government out. I want a new Ireland where our fishing waters are returned to our Irish people and fishermen, where our elections are fair and where our children and women are safe. But going after the wrong people for all the wrong reasons does not bring justice. It brings chaos, division and more heartbreak. Captain Kieran Kelly, I see your pain. I hear your grief. But the only path to justice for your son not lies in naming and blaming innocent people, but in staying focused, staying disciplined and demanding accountability where it truly belongs. I stand with every parent seeking justice in this island, but I also stand with the truth, and that is the Ireland we must all fight for together. And folks, if you don't rally up behind me and get this cobbled together Irish government out, we are finished. 3 months' time is too late. So please donate what you can to Keen Save Ireland GoFundMe page and let's make this happen. Gora Mila Mahagav.